Hello.
Welcome to Ask a Reporter this lovely Friday. I'm Amelia.
I'm Jack.
And here we are.
Ready
to tell you about the planet jokes. Pluto.
What was the joke?
Well, it's not a planet.
Well, it is.
Well, it is, but it
just
isn't.
Not a.
It's a dwarf planet.
It's not this planet.
It's not a big planet. I thought that was what the whole story was about.
Well, did you watch this story?
Yes.
Well, no, it is still
a dwarf planet.
It's a dwarf planet.
It's a mini one.
So it's still got planet in the name.
Yeah, true, but I think you can't call it the planet. Planet though, can you?
No.
Well, you know what? Let's
2020.
We've got off to a bad start.
2020 now.
This is your first Ask a Reporter of the year, Jack.
Yeah.
Look
How
at
exciting.
that. Very exciting.
Thanks for having
Where's
me.
your tea? This is our normal tradition. I've gone
I have
for
a little
coffee. Do you like my mug? Because this is a new one.
Oh, it's
And
lovely.
if you guys watch BTN Newsbreak, you might recognise this from Valentine's Day.
Oh, I thought you meant
last
the
week.
tea bag.
Not the tea bag. I know I held that up and I didn't mean,
Hopefully you're using a new tea bag since Valentine's Day.
Hey, recycle. All right?
Yeah, but that was a week ago?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Had several teas since then. But yes, no, this is my little love mug. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. No, it's not nice. It's lovely.
Oh, sweet.
Or love tea.
That's lovely.
Love tea.
Love tea. I love tea. All right, well, enough of whatever that was.
Enough banter.
Let's jump into things. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And sorry for the slight delay getting started there. You can see this is from the story, Jack's lovely story on Pluto.
Down.
Can we talk about why we are talking about Pluto? Why did we do a story? Wow, the sun is as big as your head. Bigger even.
What does that mean?
That
everything revolves around my head. Here at the BTN
everything
office,
revolves
anyway.
around Jack. So he thinks.
So why are we talking about Pluto?
Yeah, because
it's my favorite Disney character.
That's an very old reference.
Yeah.
Anyone know that one? Yeah.
They would know Pluto. The dog, Mickey's dog, Pluto.
I know, but
you know what was funny?
Hasn't been a
Goofy
movie
was a
Pluto,
dog as well, but Goofy could talk, but Pluto couldn't. I don't understand that.
That's how the world works. Some dogs talk, some don't.
Anyway, we're talking about Pluto because on Tuesday it was World Pluto Day, or it was just Pluto Day.
Pluto Day.
Yeah, basically.
Which is really interesting. Is there a day for every planet?
Well, Pluto Day is just the day that it was discovered. So
okay, I see.
For some of them, I guess there would be. For some of the planets that were discovered long before telescopes, I'm not sure if we know the exact dates of when they were discovered to have the days. But yeah, it's basically just a celebration of the day that we first laid eyes on Pluto.
Because you did talk about how a lot of the other planets were discovered a lot earlier.
Yes.
Because
before we were around.
Yes.
Well, Pluto was discovered before we were around
That's
too.
true.
But
the Babylonians.
yeah, the good old Babylonians.
Babylonians knew what
just
they
looking
doing.
up at the sky and going, yeah, that's a planet.
Pretty crazy.
We call that one Saturn.
Can you imagine a time when you wouldn't have realised you were on Earth and Earth was round and there were all these planets like that? It's quite incredible to think of that.
Well,
you would just be looking up and going, "What is that? What are they?"
Yeah, and then come back and then realise, oh, we're one of them.
Yes. So that was a question I wanted to ask from your story. Question from little Amelia to kick things off.
All right.
What did we think the Earth was before we realised it was one of the planets?
Well, I'm not
Flat?
sure. Yeah, well, I mean, some people thought it was flat.
Some people still do.
Some people still do. But it's not.
I don't know any of those people. I know it's not.
We definitely know it's not. I think the biggest thing was that they thought that all the sun and the stars were revolving around Earth. So they kind of imagined Earth was the Earth was our sun, which you can't see anymore. I'm probably going to break this,
You
so I
will.
won't
Don't
do
worry,
that.
just leave it. Yeah.
They thought that the Earth was basically where the sun is, and all the planets and the suns and the stars were revolving around it.
Yes.
But then we realised that, no, we're just a planet.
How vain of us.
Yeah.
All right, let's
That's what I was
jump
gonna say.
into let's jump into all of these amazing questions that you guys have sent in.
There are
We really
heaps.
appreciate it. There
And
are
I
heaps.
had to look up a lot of
So-
some of the answers.
Don't
because,
reveal your cheat sheet.
Oh, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a Pluto expert.
No, but you're going to be just for the next half
But
an
I
hour.
will be writing an essay on why Pluto the dog can't talk but Goofy can.
Okay, let's jump into things. We have Jude and Finn from Parkside Primary School. Who discovered Pluto and who was the first person to land on Pluto?
Ooh, yeah, so Pluto was discovered by an American astronomer called Clyde Tombaugh, yeah. And he discovered it in 1930, which was 90 years ago. No one has actually stepped foot on Pluto, though, so it could be you guys.
No, because we haven't stepped foot
On
anywhere.
any other planet.
Yeah, isn't that crazy to think about
Yeah.
in this day and age?
And they
Hopefully
probably wouldn't
Mars-
go to Pluto first, because that's very far away.
No, Mars is our next stop. So
Mars.
hopefully in your lifetime, maybe not in ours, but you never know.
I don't know about
Not to be
you.
depressing, but that's just the truth. Okay, so this is a little bit what we were talking about before. This is from AAPRM. What is you put that as your name and your school. I don't know which it is.
Oh,
But AAPRM,
go
what
to the
is
School of You.
a dwarf planet?
Basically a dwarf planet is a planet that is not big enough to be a
It's a
planet.
dwarf.
Well, an
It's
object,
tiny.
sorry. Yeah, an object that, like Pluto, that is not big enough to be a planet, but not small enough to be considered another object like an asteroid.
Right.
Yeah, and so what happened was, at first we discovered Pluto. I'm sure there's going to be a question about this, so I probably shouldn't answer it, but we discovered Pluto, thought it was a planet, and then we discovered a whole bunch of other objects that were either bigger or smaller, and we kind of realized that Pluto doesn't fit into that category anymore of planet. And
Okay.
so it was downgraded.
Okay, how old is Pluto? This is from Lane from
Yeah.
Rollins Plains Upper Public School.
So we don't know exactly how old Pluto is, because we'd have to go and get a sample from the surface to test and kind of
Right,
and work that out. But we can assume that it's as old as everything else in our solar system, which is like 4.6 averagely billion years. So about 4.6 billion years, which is very, very old.
Yeah, cool. And that's how old our sun is too.
Yeah.
Right? And, yeah.
Yeah.
So makes a lot of sense. Okay, so
So long
Excuse me?
before anyone was ever here.
that's cool, isn't it? Okay, I have Aaron from Oxford Falls Grammar School. Aaron would like to know if Pluto has an anniversary,
Ah,
how come
what?
Earth doesn't?
Oh,
Kind of asking that question I was before a little bit there.
yeah.
Why don't we have a...
Well, I guess when did
Nobody
no one really
found
found
us?
Earth? There is an Earth Day. I don't think that's related to.
No.
Well,
Every day is Earth
every
Day.
Go
Aaron.
out and just look around you and look at the trees and a river, a mountain, and just appreciate Earth
There you go.
and the beauty all around us.
Enjoy
Every
your
day is
own-
Earth Day.
Every day is Earth
Just like every day is my birthday. I always expect presents.
It
Never
is?
get any.
Oh.
No. Well, it is today.
In this
actually.
office, that means you need to bring cake
Yeah,
every day.
That's why I don't tell anybody.
We bring our own cake in the BTN
A little
office.
fun fact.
A little
about
fun
our
fact about BTN.
office.
Nobody brings it for us. We bring our own cake in and we share.
But
and
it
people
means-
get very upset if you don't bring your cake.
Yeah, but it also means you get to decide what cake you're going to have on your birthday.
True.
So,
So you always get the cake you want.
yeah,
Chocolate.
cheesecake.
Delish. Okay, so how do we get onto these topics? I don't know, Jack. It's definitely back to the Jack and Amelia Ask a Reporter torrent of thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you've answered this. This is from Eamon from Woodend Primary School. Eamon, I think I've said that correctly. What size does a planet have to be considered a planet? Sort of
Yeah,
answered it a little.
so
question.
I
Very
did
good
look this
question.
up, and I don't believe it's actually that they have to be a certain size. It's more the conditions. So they have to
Right.
orbit the star.
Okay.
Oh, a star, sorry.
Which
so,
for us is the sun.
Which for us is the sun. They have to be sphere shaped, so they have to have a gravitational pull that's made them form this kind of
Really?
sphere shape.
Can't you still be a planet even if you're like a slightly... See, there are some really weird shaped planets out there.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, check it out. But no, they're probably not classified as planets now.
probably not.
So there you
Where
go.
are these planets?
Oh, they're not in
Have
our
you
solar
been there?
system now, obviously.
Well, that solar system has a different way of categorizing.
Check it out. If you're interested in seeing some interesting shaped planets, we've discovered some.
Yes. And then the other thing is they have to...
Or planets. I'm not sure if they're planets, sorry.
they have to have enough gravity to basically clear everything around them. So so they've got their own kind of orbit that isn't interfered, whereas Pluto's actually sitting in, is it the Kepler, that belt? Kuiper belt. Kuiper belt.
Kuiper, yes, okay.
Kuiper belt. So it's basically this is what I looked up anyway, but it's its orbit is
Keep
being
at it.
interfered by other objects out in space, whereas like Earth isn't, the other ones aren't. So that's where Pluto falls short of becoming a planet, apparently.
Pluto. I should say, when I was talking about the weird shaped planets, they're not like
Yeah, like
star
cubes.
shape. A star shape, that's just a bad example. Yeah, a cube shape or something.
They're not shaped like the
They're not
stars
shaped
you
like
see
a
in the
love
sky.
heart like this. It's
Though that would be kind of cute.
would
And
be
Pluto does have a
adorable.
love heart on its
no, they're just
surface.
slightly. They're just not complete actual spheres. So there you go.
That's the
It's
definite
quite
right. They
interesting.
they have to be roundish.
Yes.
But some are a
Roundish.
little less round than others.
Oh, okay. So it's okay apparently if they're a little less round. So there are some
But they have to
some
be
slightly more
spherical.
like
That's
yeah,
life, isn't it? You
interestingly,
don't.
like,
Not everyone fits a sphere
longer.
shape.
that we are deep in thinking of all these things today.
Doesn't matter what sphere.
Every
you
day
are.
is Earth Day. You don't have to be a sphere. You can be any
Whatever
shape you like.
you want, as long as it's sphere-like.
You just might not be a planet. Jess from Woodend Primary School as well would like to know, what is Pluto's diameter?
Yes.
Very specific. I like
Pluto's
it.
diameter, I looked this up, was about 2,300 kilometers long.
Which is just not that big, is it?
Which is just not that big. So if you consider the length of Australia, how wide it is, so from Western Australia to New South Wales, it's about 4,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So it's almost half.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that size.
No. That size.
What is that?
Oh, okay. So, Josh 2.0. Where's 1.0? From
You would improve. Josh
Unanderra,
2020.
Unanderra Public School. Unanderra? Unanderra Public
Unanderra?
School. Unanderra.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Unanderra. I don't think we've had you before. You haven't asked us a question before anyway that I remember. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. For a start, I like your moustache.
Oh, I was talking to you.
That's cruel. I was hoping no one's going to notice that I have a mark on my nose today.
That's not a moustache.
At least it's not a moustache. Don't ask.
At least.
Don't ask. It bruised my nose.
Thank you. I got rid of it. Kind
Anyway,
of.
there was a second part to this.
Ah.
You did, which is very disappointing to Josh 2.0, I'm
Oh,
sure.
I'm sorry. It'll grow back
And
one day.
on a more serious note, does
Okay.
Pluto have gases on it?
Oh,
Great question.
I don't know what it ate for lunch.
know.
It does have gases, but they're frozen. So Pluto's an icy planet, and we
Because it's quite far from the sun, right?
it's very, very
Yeah,
far from the
furthest,
sun.
right?
It's
The furthest? The furthest.
well,
No, I
well,
don't know.
the furthest what?
Planet in our solar system from the sun.
Well, it's a dwarf planet.
Dwarf planet. True.
So its surface is basically made up of frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide. I want to say.
Oh,
I should
good
double
memory.
check. Oh, carbon monoxide. Sorry. And we believe at the core, it's probably got a rocky core. But yeah, so I guess
Right.
technically there's gases, but they're frozen.
Okay, interesting. All right, so Indiana, also from Unanderra Public School. Indiana asks, has anyone ever stepped foot on Pluto? I think you might have answered that already.
No, but
Yeah.
you could be the first person.
We would have to have some serious advances in technology
Really
for that to
adapts
happen,
it.
but I am keen, Indiana, to be proven wrong. So please,
Yeah, no.
get yourself onto Pluto.
Like I said, we're yet to step foot on another planet as humans. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird.
And Australia now has a space agency.
Yeah.
So maybe one day, not at this stage, we don't have any astronauts and probably won't for a long time, but you never know, we might have our own astronauts one day and you could be one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mission to Pluto.
I have, let's see, I have from Borkham Hills North Public School. Am I just saying everything wrong? Is that right? You're yelling at the screen right now, I bet, going, yes or no.
Hills.
Borkham
Yeah.
Hills. Borkham Hills North Public School.
If we're wrong, let us know.
Lots of lovely questions from you guys too. Can you see Pluto in the sky? This is from Tilly. Lovely name.
Right now?
Can you see Pluto in the sky without a telescope?
No. You can't.
You can't.
No.
Because it's so tiny.
Because it's so tiny, so you'd need
So
a
it doesn't emit
telescope of
enough
some
light.
sort. No. So
From this distance.
I think it's up to Uranus is the last planet that you can see without a telescope.
There you go. Let us know if any of you have a telescope and you like to look
Yeah.
at.
Or if you've
at
ever
the
looked up
planets,
without a telescope and been
stars.
able to see any of the planets.
Yes, that's true too.
I always look up and I try to look for what are they?
Extra
Constellations.
constellations.
And I think I'm looking at it and then I go, oh no, wait, there it is.
The planets are usually extra bright, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
and then they're moving, which is how they discovered Pluto.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have Mr. M here, possibly a teacher.
Mr.
I'm going to have a
M.
little guess there from Unanderra Public School as well. When researching a new topic like Pluto, what sources of information are the most helpful? Interviews with experts or online research articles? That's very interesting.
Yeah.
What did you use? Tell us about your process. for
My
researching this
process.
story.
So I just think. I spend a lot of time thinking. I go and appreciate nature.
He celebrates Earth Day.
I celebrate Earth Day.
And then he
I
thinks
think.
about
I
other
think. How
planet
does
days.
Pluto feel? Why? How is Pluto in all of this?
And then he comes up with a voice.
And then I go.
He thinks, how would... There it is. Oh, and here it is. We're getting way off topic from Mr. M's question, but that's okay.
Get out of here, Pluto!
It's such a weird voice. Quite alien.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe. Obviously we on BTN.
Oh, your drink bottle's talking now too.
We have each week we get a different topic. Sometimes they're things that we don't know anything about. So I knew a little bit about Pluto. Didn't know all that much, but I do a lot of research where I read articles online. I watch, some videos that people have made. NASA's really great for stories like this.
great.
So they've got stacks of information about the planets in our solar systems, and as well as ones that aren't in our solar system. And they've got heaps of videos. They had a few actually on the history of Pluto. So you can kind of, I basically go online, and I'd say it's probably the same with you, and we just see what research is around.
Yes.
And then we kind of then have to filter through that and decide what's going to be important.
Which is tricky sometimes.
Yeah, it can be really tricky, especially when it's you've got all this information and you're like, oh, this is all so interesting, but I have to fit it into 3.5 minutes, which doesn't always happen. And so we try and find out, what's the most important information? What would you guys be interested in knowing
What
about?
wouldn't you necessarily know already?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. What wouldn't you necessarily know? So
Mr. M, I want to say as well, interviews with experts or online research articles specifically, I'm going to say that the most helpful out of those two is, for me, online research articles. Interviews with experts are interesting and can provide a little bit of extra knowledge that you might not get elsewhere, but it's also actually just a more time-consuming way to research something. So if you're sitting and you're having to listen to somebody talk about something, you can't necessarily skim through and get to the thing that you need, the information you need as quickly. But also sometimes if there's a complicated topic, I would say that it can help to look up somebody who is a science communicator, especially something like this, who then can explain it in a simpler way. So yeah, a bit of both. We use a bit of both. That was a good question. All right, so Hunter, from Borkham Hills North Public School. Why was Pluto classified as a planet in the first place?
yeah,
How did we make that foolish mistake?
because 90 years ago everyone was fools. That's not fair.
We're fools.
We're fools.
Now you're
I'm the fool. God.
Yep.
Well, so I guess without really knowing the exact answer, I'm going to assume that it was because we didn't have anything else to tell us otherwise. So it was really exciting when we discovered Pluto, because, you know, we've discovered another planet. Like, we didn't think that there were any more planets, or, you know, there was speculation that maybe there were. So it was really exciting news when that we found it. And we didn't know enough about it really as well. We didn't know exactly how big it was, like where it was situated, all that sort of stuff. And then over the years, we've learnt more about it. We've discovered all these other objects that are around in space, some that are bigger than Pluto but aren't planets. And I think, they made I'm sure it was a very difficult decision to then downgrade it to a dwarf planet.
Jessica from Kelso Public School would like to know, why is Pluto so small?
Oh, should we ask
I know.
Pluto?
Yeah, that's
Why is so small, Pluto?
I don't know.
It was just the way it was formed,
It's just
I
the way
guess.
it's formed, isn't it? Yeah.
That is an interesting question. I wonder
It
if there is
is.
any more information out there.
Maybe, Jessica, you could go and look into how planets form. I'm sure that's a bit of a complicated thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we have many ideas about that, or not us specifically, but I'm sure NASA can help you.
We have ideas that we're
or
not
the
going to
European
share.
Space Agency. Okay,
If we knew we
so
would
let's see. So many questions. Okay, I have Leo from Pimble. When did people say Pluto was a dwarf planet? Do we have
The
a year?
year was 2006.
2006.
I remember it well.
I think I kind of remember.
I
it
do.
actually
I
too.
remember it. I was in school.
Yeah, same. No. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Why is?
What year?
Oh, it's from Z. Z-I. What are we guessing? What are we going with?
Zai?
Zai. I'm going to say Zai. From Albert. Okay. Why is the sun a lamp / orange? I think maybe
the
Zai's
actual
referring
sun.
to this one. Right here.
So, we'll just get it into shot.
Because Zai... Oh, we lost
Oh,
the
no,
planet.
we lost
Oh, we lost
Earth.
the planet. We lost Earth!
That's all right. I'll hold on to
gosh.
Earth here.
Why? Where did this come from, this amazing thing?
This just appeared.
Shop somewhere.
No,
It appeared.
so we have here at BTN.
Get it to move.
Whoa!
Wowee.
Whoa! Can you feel that? The Earth is wobbling
The
around.
solar system. Yeah.
So here at BTN, this looks like a lollipop. We have a group of people who, whenever we go and film stuff, we give them a list of props or costumes, and I decided I wanted a model of the solar system, and they went out and they found one, and that was the one that they found, and it's pretty cool because it rotates, it lights.
It's done for now after that little demonstration.
It's gone.
It's over. The universe is destroyed.
But the interesting thing was, well, not the interesting, it was, we all realised this.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pluto wasn't going to be included in the model because it's no longer a planet. So then we had to make our own Pluto.
That's very funny. I didn't actually think about that.
Yeah.
So maybe if you bought this
that's-
set in 2005, would have
Yeah.
been.
Probably still in 2006.
Yeah,
I don't
probably
think it was
still.
that quick.
They're like, quick, get to
Get
the
them off the
stores.
shelves.
Take them off the shelves. Change the history books. All right, Ashton from St. Columba College. I would like to know, why were people so interested in such a small planet?
Yeah. Just in general, or...
I guess.
Well, like I mentioned before, when we first discovered it, it was really exciting because I think back then especially, like these days we discover planets all the time. They're not in our solar system, which is different, but we're discovering the exoplanets, so ones that exist outside of our solar system. So it's pretty common, it's like,
They're the
there's a
ones
new
with
planet,
some weird shapes.
yada, 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 you got a weird shape. Yep, there's thousands of you, cool. But when, in the 1930s, when we discovered that there was a ninth planet, because it's not a planet anymore.
No, I know, but I think we got that.
Sorry, just making sure. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it now. I reckon if
cool.
we discovered another planet in our solar system
that would be
now,
crazy.
it would still be really exciting.
It would be very,
because
very
like,
exciting.
there might be a
Would you guys be
naming
excited?
competition. I don't think there would, though.
Planet to make a planet face.
No, they've got a way of naming the planets.
Yeah, I was going to say, and surely we're over that now, aren't we?
Planet
As
face.
the world, we've stopped calling things that after Bodie McBoatface. Okay, so you mentioned moons, I think. Brandon from Rollins Plains Upper Public School, how many moons are around Pluto?
Yes. Do we want the names as well?
It's just so cool that there are all these moons as well.
So there are 5.
Yeah, we want the names.
Oh,
Look at
there's 4
this.
moons.
Here we go, look.
There they are.
There they are.
So what's that? Styx, Nix.
I don't know why that was so funny, but it was. Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra.
Oh, and there are 5, sorry. And
Kerberos? Oh, I can't remember. I did say it
Sharon?
correctly.
We'll call her Sharon.
Oh, right, and
Sharon.
I said it right in my introduction to BTN, but I've forgotten now. There's a little thing. I have to always learn how to say these things correctly, and I forget sometimes. It was Karen. Sharon.
Well,
Sharon.
they're-
I can't remember.
They're all their
Sorry.
those names. They kind of sound very random.
But what are they?
Well, they're actually named after. Their names associated with the underworld in Greek and Roman mythology.
I have a question about that.
Oh, okay.
Addison from Homeschool. Hey, Addison. Did you know? Oh, it's a did you know?
Oh,
It's not even a
do it in
question.
your did you know voice.
I love it. Okay, here's my BTN voice. Did you know that Pluto is actually the Roman name for the god of the underworld? The Greek name is Hades, and in Greek mythology, the underworld is named after him.
I did know that.
There you go, Addison. That's a great
great
fact.
research, though.
Great
Yeah.
research. So that was a bit about the underworld. So tell us more about the moons.
Well,
then.
yeah. So how are we pronouncing it?
Oh, I don't know.
Sharon.
Sharon.
So it's named after the mythological ferryman who carried souls across the rivers that surrounded Pluto's underworld. So has anyone seen Hercules? You can't answer me. The animation.
They can write it, send it in if they
You
want.
might. This is a very. This
have,
episode was not
many years
sponsored by
ago.
Disney, but
years ago.
there's Hades, the character in that.
Yes. I think
Who
I
is
remember.
in Roman mythology is Pluto, and you might know there's a boat that goes over the rivers, and it's
Yes.
it's got all the souls trying to come out,
Yes.
and so that was named after the ferryman. Nyx is the goddess of darkness and night.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Hydra is a terrifying monster with the body of a serpent and 9 heads that Hercules fought.
Which
Do you
one
remember that
was that?
That one was Hydra.
Hydra.
Do you remember that one? The big one that had all the heads that kept popping
Yeah, I
out?
think so.
I really liked that movie.
I think
so
I might be
know
thinking
it quite a bit.
of I'm thinking of
Medusa.
yeah.
No,
I love that you.
different.
That was amazing.
And then
Wow.
Kerberos is
We've
named
got some
after
kind
the
of
3-headed
psychic
dog.
connection happening.
So not the one from Harry Potter.
The the 3-headed dog.
Yeah.
Just the 3-headed dog. There's just
Yeah,
one.
it guards.
And it's very famous.
It stands guard. Go and watch Hercules, and you'll then.
Oh, this is
you'll
all
be
in
like, oh,
Hercules.
Pluto.
Okay, fabulous. That's
Yeah.
great, fun. All right, so that was really interesting. Okay, I love stuff like that. Woodend Primary School. I have Ella. Do you think in the future there will be a way to step foot on Pluto without a space uniform?
Oh, I mean, you know what?
What?
Anything is possible.
Well,
and
that's
like,
a cop out.
well, Amelia, do you know what I have to say to that?
Ella's question.
You never know.
You never know.
No.
You never know.
I don't know. Do you know?
I know,
Maybe.
yes, I know. I have been to the future, and
Oh.
I can tell you that you'll probably want to take your space uniform if you can,
Okay.
Ella. But that's just because
what if they
we
invented
can't breathe.
something
We
like-
can't breathe on Pluto.
Correct.
No, we can't.
We can't
But
break
maybe
up
they
Pluto.
would invent something by then that you could like a mouth guard or
Mouth guard?
a pill or something that allows you to.
Look,
breathe.
you,
No?
my friend, are a
Okay.
dreamer, and that is
Yeah.
what we need to
Magic.
get to
Maybe
Pluto
we'll
one day.
discover magic
we
by
need,
then.
We need dreamers and technology experts.
No, just streamers. That's it. Technology, smectology.
Technology smetology. Oh no, we've gone over time. I'm so sorry. We got totally carried away. If you have already tuned out, apologies. Let's just quickly go for the last one. From Aaron and Byron from Oxford Falls Grammar School. Was Pluto ever bigger than what it is now? P.S. I love AAR and I'm addicted.
No!
Hopefully only in a good way.
In a good way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To
So
both
what
of you.
was
that
the
Aaron
question?
and Byron.
Is Pluto only...
Was Pluto ever bigger than what it is now? Do planets grow?
Oh.
Or
That's a
should I
very
say shrink?
interesting question.
Apologies, shrink.
I actually don't know if they shrink or grow. I don't think Pluto has changed size. That's not the reason it was downgraded. I don't know in general, though, if planets shrink or
Well, the sun.
change size.
The sun is going to disappear, but that's a star, so that's a bit different. In a very, very long time. Don't
disappears
worry.
every night.
It's at least, I don't know, how many millions of years away? Several million. Oh, is it even billion? It'd be billions. Sorry.
Yeah, so don't worry
It's a
about
couple.
that.
I think it's like 2 billion years, something like that. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We won't be
We'll
there.
be fine.
Except that we might be, because we might have been, like our minds might have been put into computers, and so we still exist at some point. Again, I told you I'm from the future, so I know all about this.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's it for us. I'm sorry, this is a very strange Ask a Reporter, but hopefully we answered.
I had fun.
I had a lot of fun. I hope we answered. I hope you had a lot of fun too, and I hope we answered a lot of your questions. And thank you so much for sending them in, and thank you for tuning in again.
Yes.
And we'll be back again next Friday for another session. Thanks for watching BTN. You guys are the best. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.